Hi, I'm Dr. Ruan and I'm a South African vet living and working in Macau. I'm boarding a plane to Australia to go meet some of my friends with very different animals and help with their medical issues. I'm so excited for you to see how cool and unique these animals are. We want to show you these animals in Australia, so hold on, I'll take you for a ride. I'm here in Queensland and heading to the Australia Zoo made famous by the fearless Steve Owen. Today I'm helping Dr. Rosie, the director of the Wildlife Hospital, with all her cases. Rosie, so nice to meet you.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you so much. We just landed from Macau, but thank you so much for having us here.
We've got some great things happening today. I've got a koala on its way in 5 minutes.
Excellent,
I could really use your help.
Absolutely, let's go.
Okay.
Thank you. One of the wildlife rescue carers called Tina is bringing in a koala for a revisit today. So Tina, what are the most common injuries that you see?
Electrocution, probably, land clearing, or road trauma.
I'm going to talk to Dr. Wendy about today's new arrival, Humpty. So what happened with her?
I believe she was hit by a car. She's already had surgery with an orthopedic surgeon.
Oh,
and
is this
had
the one with the
plates.
plating?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
the radius.
So we're going to x-ray the leg. Good. We're now placing Humpty on the examination table. We're going to gas her down now with isoflurane, making sure that she falls asleep before we intubate her.
So yeah, she'd probably go about 9-10 years old. You can see how flat that tooth is. So they're actually quite ridged when they're younger, so we can actually age them on basically how worn the teeth are. So this is just a conjunctival swab to test for chlamydia. Okay, so you have to give it a really decent rub because we actually need cellular material there. So I give it a really good scrub basically.
Okay.
Our decision today is, do we take the plates out or do we leave them alone?
Yeah.
She does need an x-ray of the arm. And then I think we wake her up for today.
So we're going to move her.
Yeah.
Now we're taking Humpty from the examination table. She's anesthetized and we're moving her towards the x-ray room where we're going to x-ray that right front leg.
So what we're going to do is just do a survey rate of her whole body.
Okay.
So we do chest and abdomen, then we'll do a VD,
Okay.
chest and abdomen, and then we'll do individual lower legs.
Okay, so we're looking at the right forearm of the koala, and a little while ago she had a plate placed to fix the fracture, and we're x-raying the leg now to see how this plating went. Both radial ulnar fractures, so distal radial ulnar fractures. Another doctor did the surgery. Now we're checking to see if there's nice alignment, if there's nice new deposition of bone, and to see if the plate is actually still patent. For me, I would be worried about this actual screw. I don't think this one has any function. But then we found something else.
She's actually got a fractured spine as well. I'll just enlarge that and you can see the picture. Right there, that whole spine there.
Wendy, that fracture is quite severe, right?
It is. Maybe they've missed it with the last one. I'm actually quite surprised that she's actually walking.
Me too.
That's
quite a severe fracture. But
yeah, it's very displaced, isn't it?
Have you seen her walking at all?
I haven't. She's just came in as sitting in a box.
Come here, Tina, I want to show you something.
I feel like really bad.
Ruan can explain the x-rays to you.
She's totally mobile.
She's totally mobile.
I can't
Do
believe
that
it.
face and tell him.
I don't believe it. I can't believe
No.
it. No.
She jumps from tree
No,
to tree.
I don't. You need to show me a video. So take a video and send it to me, because I cannot believe it.
She's totally mobile. She had a baby,
Oh, let
like
me
a
show you
big
something.
baby.
It's unbelievable. I would think this is at least a month to 2 months old, because of the new bone formation, the new
Well,
tissue
it'd be
formation.
the same time as the arm then.
Yeah, you're very lucky.
I can't believe we missed it.
Yeah. So what I would do, if this is my case, these 2 screws are actually
High.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
They're coming out. I'm not sure what the other vet that has said about it, but what I would do is I would remove these 2.
Yeah.
Because you never know if they're actually loose. If they're
Yeah.
loose, they have no function to be there.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you don't want
And
them
if they
to.
lift, they could cause abscess.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the
You don't want it.
skin.
You don't want that. So
Yeah.
I would take these out.
We'll see
Okay.
how releasable she
So
is.
we'll decide then if she's going to go into surgery. I would definitely remove it.
Yep.
We'll see what the other doctors say. As we were finishing the x-rays, a baby Joy came in for examination. So what we're doing now is we're gassing her down, making sure she's stable and checking to see what's going on inside her. I always worry about that. Okay, so this is a little eastern grey kangaroo. It's one of 50 species still left in Australia. Very highly sought after little kangaroo. Unfortunately, the mother got hit by a car and the baby ended up in hospital. But what we're doing now is we're just giving subcut fluid to help the body recuperate faster after anesthesia.
Some of the things that we can do when it comes to these kangaroos that are living in suburbia, one, try to control habitat destruction. That's really quite bad in Australia, but also controlling speed limits and that sort of thing in areas where there are wildlife. And he comes from an area, sorry, I'll wake him up now.
Okay.
He comes from an area where there is actually a lot of bushland being cut down for housing
Yeah.
development
Yeah.
at the moment.
Rosie, please tell me about these little guys.
So these are lace monitors. This is one of 9 lace monitors who were brought in yesterday. There was some habitat clearing taking place and the little tiny hatchlings were found in a felled tree.
Yes.
So they're come in today for a full check before we can release them back to the wild. So really interesting things happen with lace monitors. The mother lays the eggs in a hollow tree or a warm termite mound, and then she comes back and disturbs the termite mound when they're ready to hatch. So any disturbance that happens towards the end
Activates
of
them to come out.
Yes, so they all have come out
all at the
thinking
same
that that
time.
was mum. But so
Unbelievable.
we need to check that they are fully developed. There's no abnormalities if it might have been a little bit early.
Yes. Okay, so what I'm checking for now is I'm just going to check the abdomen to see here where the umbilical cord is. If that doesn't close, or if the yolk sac doesn't get involuted in that little spot, it's not good. So after they get born, you have to check and see that this is okay, that yolk sac is inside the body. We're checking him here. There's the umbilical cord, everything's fine. We're just going to put him down. The sex of each hatchling is determined by the temperature of the egg. The monitor lizard collects chemicals from the air or ground and takes the samples back into the roof of the mouth, called the Jacobson's organ. Yeah.
So these are one of the few lizards
That
that
is-
have the forked tongue.
It was a privilege to have met these little guys. It was amazing. Dr. Rosie and her team at Australia Zoo. She welcomed us into the zoo and we got straight into going into x-rays and checking the animals and diagnosing problems, diagnosing fractures in the spine, assessing the actual plating of the legs, and then giving our external opinion of the fracture and of the plating. It was amazing for her for me to give to her because she's a very experienced vet. And to have that communication with the doctor is amazing. Now we're going to go to a 24-hour animal hospital, VSS. Veterinary Specialist Services is a massive hospital in Brisbane and is owned by my friend Dr. Philip Moses. I'll be assisting him with one of his surgeries and I can't wait to get back into the operating theatre. And here is today's patient.
Ruan, this is Nelson. He's a little Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Today we're going to have a look at his upper airways. His soft palate, I suspect, is probably going to be a bit too long, enlarged tonsils. But the other condition we sometimes see in Cavaliers is an immune-mediated pharyngitis where the body reacts against itself and it becomes very inflamed. If we don't address that when we address the airways, we don't resolve the problem. What we're going to do here is we're pre-oxygenating Nelson. We're giving him some oxygen before we anaesthetise him.
Okay.
I'm going to anaesthetise him then, and then I will assess the function of his larynx.
Okay.
Then we'll transfer him to surgery.
Okay.
And we can see his tonsils are quite enlarged here. His soft palate is quite long, but his laryngeal function is relatively normal.
The nurses prepared Nelson for surgery while Dr. Philip and I scrubbed up.
So, what we're seeing here, his tonsils are quite enlarged.
Yes.
And his soft palate's very long.
Yes.
Now, I think his soft palate should finish about here.
Yes.
The other thing that worries me, see there's a sort of cobbled appearance to this?
Yeah, I see it.
Doesn't look like this.
Yeah.
This, I think he's got the early stage of this disease. So what we do is we reach into the tonsillar crypt, lift the tonsil up, you can see they're very enlarged,
Yes.
and then we crush down behind them.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so fast.
We've finished that part of the procedure. His soft palate length is good. His tonsils were removed, and I just want to biopsy an area in here to send off for pathology. But you can see that works really well, doesn't it?
It's beautiful.
So we're just going to take a biopsy in here. Sometimes these bleed, so we just put our biopsy punch in, take a little circle of tissue. Our concern, Ruan, now is always with recovery.
Yes.
Sometimes we can get some post-operative swelling, and hopefully he'll be awake and go home tomorrow.
That's great news. We just finished the surgery, we removed the tonsils, we removed the soft palate. We're going to send it for histopathology now, and then we're going to know what's wrong with the dog. Dr. Phil,
Yeah, well done, mate.
thanks
Well
so
done.
much for
It's a
everything.
pleasure.
Thanks for allowing us into your hospital to see the
It's a
surgery.
pleasure, mate. It's a pleasure.
Yeah,
No, it went
thank
very
you.
well, very pleased, and once he's woken up and he's extubated, we'll be happy.
Excellent. I learned a lot today, so a lot of the stuff that I saw today I can take back to Macau, and we can actually incorporate it into our own practices.
And with that, we're now heading back to Australia Zoo to meet up with an old friend of mine that studied with me in South Africa.
Amber!
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great to see you. Thanks so much for letting us see the hospital today.
No worries. I hope you're going to enjoy it. We've got
Thank
a lot
you.
to look at.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, have a look.
Wow, Amber, what do you have here?
Well, this is one of our native Australian carpet pythons. So he's a wild guy, and he's in here being treated for a bit of constipation. So the situation with some of these wild snakes, I think, is that they can cross roads, they can be clipped by cars or even run over, and they can get damage in their gastrointestinal tracts that scars. And I think that then starts to reduce the passage of fecal matter. So he's also not fully grown. They get a lot bigger, these Australian carpet pythons. He's not too bad actually. He doesn't have too much impacted.
So he feels good.
You can feel a little bit there if you want to have a bit of a feel.
Okay. If you look at his head, you'll see those holes in the front of his face. Those things pick up heat. So it's actually a heat sensor. They can't see pretty well, they can pick up heat. It's like having a camera, and you can see at night time. So what are we going to do?
Well, we need to make sure he gets plenty of fluids.
Okay.
Bit of activity as well to try and move it through, and if we're not getting a lot of movement, it might even result in surgery. So we actually go in and have a look what's going on.
Okay, excellent. So I'll just put him back.
I think he can go back in now.
Beautiful. Okay, Amber, what do we have here?
So this is one of our green tree frogs, so it's a native frog that we have in Australia. Before we touch him though, we've obviously got gloves on, but I just want to wet them.
Okay, let's go. The reason we have to touch him with gloves is because we don't want the acid from our hands to touch his skin. He's got very, very thin, porous skin. And if the acid enters the skin, it's going to damage it.
So he might have a few little patches of skin discoloration.
Okay.
So he had a little bit of dermatitis. And that's
Wow.
what people noticed were wrong with him, and that's why they brought him in for us to treat him. Now he's shedding a little bit of his skin here. You can probably see this.
Yeah,
So that's just a bit of his skin coming off.
that's very interesting.
Yeah, he's gorgeous, and they're really common in our drain pipes in houses
Okay.
and that sort of thing. They love moisture, but they can live in fairly dry places as well.
I see.
Amber has another surprise in stock for us.
Oh my goodness. Amber, what happened to this guy?
So, Ruan, this is Squirt, and he's a little orphaned koala joey. So as you can see, he's pretty small. And he's in our nursery here in intensive care.
What happened to him?
So this little guy, unfortunately, his mum was killed when she was hit by a car, and he's developed some gut complaints, so he has a little bit of diarrhea.
Okay.
When they're at this age, they're starting to sort of emerge out of the pouch, and
Yeah.
they feed on their mum's fecal material called pap,
Okay.
and that colonises the gut with bacteria that allows them to eat eucalyptus leaf and ferment it. So he's in this really critical stage where he needs that, but he can also get lots of infections and other things at the same time. So this little over here, which looks massive on this tiny little arm,
Yeah,
but that's giving him the fluid because he was a bit dehydrated.
but he's cute.
So cute, aren't they?
He's about 6 months old.
Yeah, that's
Yeah?
right.
So these guys, they stay with the mother till about 12 months. At 6 months, they get in and out, and then at around 12 months, they completely leave the mother.
And so at this age as well, he's being bottle fed by the carer. So every
Okay.
4 hours, there's a lot of care that goes into an orphaned koala joey.
Wow.
And the ultimate aim, obviously, is that this one will get released into the wild when it's an adult.
Okay, what is his chances for survival?
With the condition he's got, it's about 50-50. This tummy bug that they can get can be quite detrimental, and they can die from it. But he's showing good signs. He's
Okay.
quite bright.
Yeah.
He's still taking his food really well.
He still looks bright, active,
Yeah,
he's looking at us.
that's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you offer him a little bit of leaf too, they'll have a bit of a nibble.
Moving outside, it's time for a turtle checkup.
We're gonna get into the water with the turtle. We're gonna take him out, we have to weigh him. See how his body is doing, see if he's losing weight or picking up weight. Because if they're losing weight, they probably have to force feed, get the body better, get the body more healthy. And then if they're picking up weight and he's eating, we can let them go. Hopefully these 5 turtles can go soon. So if you look at them, see how they swim. If they rise to the top, it means that there's air trapped into the body. None of these guys have any air trapped inside, so it means that there's no air interaction, which means they're actually quite healthy.
That's it.
Okay, so this is a green sea turtle. It's a juvenile, so it's still a baby. We don't know if it's male or female yet. If you look at them, they can see the long pedals in the front flippers. They're very long, so they can actually push themselves through the water quite fast. These guys are endangered in the world. The reason is because they swim, and then most boats hit them. If they get hit, they get damaged. And there's lots of fishing nets. These guys get entrapped in the fishing line, fishing nets, and then they basically die. We should take care of our oceans. We're just gonna weigh her now, and then we're gonna see if we can release this one. So hopefully she's okay.
So with the help of Maurice, we're wrapping Pablo to examine her with Amber before the day comes to an end.
Okay. Let's take it. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you. Okay, so this is Pablo. Yeah. Weigh him quick. Go, Pablo.
You can see what his weight is.
Okay, so 6.2, 6.15.
Yep, that's good. That's
Okay,
pretty
so
much what
great,
he was.
eh?
So they come up against a lot of problems. Then they can sometimes ingest plastics and plastic bags, and so there's many things that mean turtles are endangered in our oceans.
Yes.
And unfortunately, a lot of them are because of us, human beings.
Oh, that is terrible. Though.
Yeah, it's really sad.
I wish it never happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go.
Amber, thanks so much for everything.
No worries.
Yeah, it's such a great experience, and thanks for having us here at the zoo.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for all your help. Look,
Yeah,
you even got
I'm all
wet.
wet. Thanks so much. I have to go. I learned a lot. I actually got introduced again to stuff that I should have remembered a long time ago. So I'm just happy those doctors reminded me a lot. I'm back at Australia Zoo to show you some of Steve Irwin's favorite animals. Wow, this is a saltwater crocodile. It's usually bigger than the Nile crocodile. If you look at this one, his mouth is open, so he's actually regulating his temperature by releasing the heat into the air, otherwise they overheat. So there he's moving, he's very fast. Actually, if they move, they actually use a lot of energy, so that's why they just like to lie quietly and rest. Guys, this is a saltwater crocodile. It's massive. This is just a replica of one that they found the dimensions to. If you look at it, it's huge. These are barnacles, indicating that they're from the sea, that they can swim in the sea. They've got like small salt glands on the side of their body that they can excrete the salt that they accumulate in the sea. It's massive, huge animal, unbelievable. Here at Roo Heaven, we'll be able to meet one of Australia's iconic animals, the kangaroo. Hey little guy. Kangaroos, as they're running, they jump with their hind legs. The tail is quite thick. The tail uses a balancing system to help them generate kinetic energy, kinetic motion, and they can jump quite high and quite far. The front legs is a little bit small. They can still use it to like look for food, to forage, to scratch stuff on the ground. If you look at the back legs got one big long nail. If you're ever in any situation where a kangaroo chases you, you have to stay away from the back legs, because if they kick you with that back leg, that toe is very dangerous. Today my friend Brian and I are heading out to Bribie Island, a massive national park in Queensland. He's going to show us the incredible wildlife this area has. Just a 15-minute boat ride from the city, this is a world away from the concrete jungle that we are immersed in. So Brian, please tell me about this beautiful place.
You've got the Glasshouse Mountains just out to our west there, and the whole area is a mecca for wildlife. You've got our wading birds, our resident pelicans and black swans, and then in the water you've got seagrass beds that support a local population of dugongs and sea turtles. So over on the island, Rwanda, there's even small mobs of eastern grey kangaroos.
Wow.
Do you want to go and have a look?
Absolutely, let's go.
Excellent, we'll see if we can find some.
How many kangaroos are on this island? Do you guys know?
Maybe a lot. I don't know how many, but a lot. Yeah. Kangaroos, they sort of move all across tops of dunes, but you can see their tracks here.
Yeah.
But as it heats up, they start to retreat back into the bush and cool off.
Yeah.
So you can see his tail and his two feet there, so he must have gone off into the bush this way.
With the noonday approaching, Brian and I had to go deeper into the bush to find them.
Oh, here he is.
Oh,
here's one
goodness. Wow,
Fantastic. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, they're the second largest macropod species in Australia, and fantastic.
Yes, beautiful animal there.
Yeah.
On my final day in Australia, Brian and I went to Double Island Point. He wanted to show me how beautiful this area was, but also the effects that humans have had on this serene environment.
This is just incredible, Rwanda.
It's a beautiful day, Bruno. So we've got dolphins, we've got whales,
turtles.
we've got sea turtles.
Oh,
it's unbelievable. It's a beautiful spot.
And great surf too, not to mention.
Man.
Yeah, now we've had a few sort of problems over the years because it is getting a lot more popular, as you can see.
Yeah.
And as it gets more popular, you can see there's a lot more sort of fishermen just out here, and there's a lot of fishing line getting entangled in the seagrass beds where the green turtles are feeding around here. So after we might have a bit of a look around and check on the health of the green turtles.
That'll be great.
look at this. These guys are coming to the top.
Oh
look.
man, that's
So this looks
beautiful.
like a mother and a calf.
It is too. It's unbelievable. That's humpbacks. 2 humpback whales.
Yep.
This is absolutely beautiful, Bruno. It's like paradise.
Isn't it incredible? Do you want to go check the turtles out?
Absolutely, let's kick it.
Awesome, let's go.
We snorkeled today and the water was unbelievably clear. My friend Brian and I were snorkeling and we found this massive green sea turtle in the water, and there was actually a fishing line stuck to the leg. Brian dove down, caught the green sea turtle, which was massive, and I had the privilege of removing fishing that was stuck to his leg. Every time he moves it, it digs deeper into the skin, and it's bad. It carves into the flesh of the flipper. If that fishing line kept squeezing that leg, it'd probably lose the leg. So I'm very happy to have done that. We as humans need to understand that the earth isn't only ours, and we have the responsibility to take care of it. Collectively, we need to take care of our oceans and keep them clean. Plastic is not biodegradable and has a negative impact on sea life. If we treat them bad, in the end the earth will treat us very bad. And now we're ending our Australian adventure. It's very inspiring to see that across Australia people are working to help animals that are being affected by urbanization. I'll see you on my next adventure.